course, you guys, Stef Saucy is here. And today's edition of Stef Saucy Talk is brought to you by myself, DJ Stef Saucy. Thanks for tuning in. You know the saying that Jesus is king? I really mean that. Jesus is king, but it depends on which way you're looking at it from. So today, we're looking at it from the perspective of Kanye West's new album called Jesus is King. And man, wow, it's been a long time, I think, for Ye, since he's dropped an album. His album Ye from last year came out. But obviously all the setbacks, all the production, all the Sunday services that's been going on in recent months has led to this point. Jesus is King. The previous titles was going to be called Yandy. That never worked out. Now Kanye West has redefined himself and obviously is born again. So we're going to talk about Ye and how he's become a different person, and it has just transitioned. I'm going to talk about the interview he had with Beats One, Zane Lowe. Some also reviews, I think, in my opinion. And whether or not this is a shift in the hip hop culture or just black culture in general, are you looking at Kanye as a person to look up to, as an influential figure? Maybe you look at him as just a musician. So that's what we basically are going to cover today. Damn, man. I mean, it's been a long time since we really kind of realized who Kanye is. I mean, if we want to date back to when Life of Pablo came out, and remember the beef between him and Jay, that whole time Kanye going on tour, stopping shows just to express his feelings towards the Beehive. So Kanye West is really trying to redefine himself and really get to a point in his life where he's trying to create change. He talks about bringing back manufacturing for his shoes, Yeezys, or whatever clothes he's going to do back to the United States instead of going to China. And just many thoughts and feelings and concerns he has for the world and obviously for his brand, so forth and so on. So that's just one part of what I'm getting to today. But also, I got to get to a point that I mention anytime that I'm on the radio in regards to these artists, right? Whether or not they are actually true to what they're saying. Because you got these big time artists, man, that just, I don't know if they believe in God or not. But hey, look, man, that's for everyone else to choose. But for Kanye West to really sit here and tell the world how he's born again and redefining himself, getting closer to God and creating a connection, sometimes you gotta really ask yourself, okay, where is Kanye trying to lead to? Because if this is really true, then for some reason he's gonna be changed spiritually, mentally, physically. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know he has had hard times in his life, losing his mom. Then his album 808s and Heartbreak comes out. Ultimately to his album Yay and Life of Pablo and different albums that he's come out with. And a lot of people who I've been talking to saying they don't feel the same way about Ye how they do feel back in the day. Graduation album. I mean, come on, that's one of the hardest albums, man, in this decade. You know what I'm saying? In even previous decades, like I got people saying they have that album on replay, cause that's how good Kanye is musically, a musical genius. So nowadays, when you listen to his album Jesus is King, you know what I'm saying? He's referencing to the Almighty dear God. Okay, that's great. We understand that. But this album really directs the fans, if you're a fan of Kanye, of sampling gospel singers, right? Like this one song called Follow God. And he talks about his father and having conversations with him, saying what he's done is not Christ-like. Now, if you're looking to this as a Christian believer of what is it to be Christ-like, you'll probably have different notions, different criticism of what Kanye's trying to say in this song. And I get it. Kanye wants to obviously show people that, hey, look, I've been through the struggle. I've been through a lot of bad times. I've done a lot of dumb shit. But I'm moving forward. I'm heading into a new era of music. And that's the key. What music are we going to hear from him now on? For now on, is this just going to be gospel albums? If it makes more than the regular hip hop sales, then we'll be really surprised about how much units he's going to sell. I mean, we're talking about 250 or more units this week they're predicting off of his album. So we'll see what happens. Kanye West is just really an interesting character. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just real interesting nowadays. And I'm getting on him today, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. But then at the same time, which way I don't know to come from, because I'm looking at this saying to myself, do we have a shift in our culture? Is he going to be the reason that we change our music? I mean, a lot of guys are using not only gospel, but using the 808s like Kanye did in his album. Look at the baby in his album, Kirk. He has a gospel song on his album. All right. And he uses that, of course, to address his father being gone, and furthermore, and furthermore. Are we going to see that more now on hip hop albums? Just having a reference to God or a higher power? You don't have to, but it's there. You've seen Kanye's making his whole album based on his being born again, life. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really important that we just really look at the positives, we look at the negatives, and we go in between and have a real, true conversation. What conversation that is? The conversation of people not understanding how to implement God in their music. Like, people refrain from that. I don't understand that. Like, shout out to my brother Ant One, because he puts it in his music. Like, honestly, I mean, people go through times, and look, you got to look to God. And Kanye West is starting to look to God. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. I'm not around his camp. But this is something that a lot of people have a question about Kanye West. Not only from the music, but from the church services. The church services, those sermons, I mean, it's got to be something that people are really starting to gravitate to. Because if you're looking at it, a musical artist in Kanye West, he's not a pastor, obviously, but sort of a guy that is sent by God, because he says that God sent him for a purpose. And on the interview with Beats Zaynlow, he said that back in April, right after Coachella, he felt like it was his time to be born again. Something spiritually got into his mind, and he wanted to change the narrative of who he was and what he wants to be known as. You know what I'm saying? So it's only been 6 months since April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months since April to be born again. All kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? So could we hate him now? Could we knock him for what he has done? Hey, look, man, Kanye ain't gonna be Kanye at the end of the day. I'm just here to present you with the facts and present you with my opinions the best way possible, because this is Stef Saucy Talk. Now, I've been getting a lot of reviews so far. NPR, they've been reviewing it. Also, Slate.com. A lot of people are pretty heavily involved in this album, man. So the question, like I said, still, is there a shift in our culture? I think tremendously so, not only by Kanye, but just by other artists in our industry. Because I just watched the BET Hip Hop Awards I'm not saying this past month, so we're still in October. And what if they had a guy like Kanye really perform at that performance? I was just thinking about this. Would that make a difference? Would that make viewerships go up, down, around town? I don't know, man. It's real interesting because the hip hop nowadays, we all gotta just say to ourselves, okay, it's technology based. We're using keyboards, we're using our mouse, clicking and plugging in different programs to our computers into our sounds to create this type of music. Billboard number one hits. You know what I'm saying? Top 10 streaming. Like all these people are exposed to this music, and Kanye is now transitioning to a gospel artist. I don't know what it is nowadays, but he's talking about his life. All right. So now the category of his music now, what do we call it? Gospel slash hip hop. Hip hop is an expression of yourself. I say that religiously because I really do mean that, and I really do believe that. I just know that this album right here is probably gonna solidify himself as a new age of music and a new personality. Kim K was boosting it on Twitter about the Jesus is King release date. All right, and the track list, and you know she's got over 100 million followers. So having now, having those Kardashians alongside you really makes a big difference. And the use of faith now is really evident. You see what Kim K did with Donald Trump, getting people out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Because she's got that much power, that much juice, that much sauce on Stef Saucy talk. So I don't know what it is. I just had a feeling to do this Stef Saucy talk presentation today because I just really just was blown away when Kanye decided to change his whole album from Yanni to Jesus is King. That's monumental, I think. And I think, when he made that statement in his song Otis featuring Jay-Z, I made Jesus walk, so I'm never going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, that statement that he said then till now, hey, look, man, is Kanye West really accepting Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior? We still got to see it to believe it. But he's showing you in the Sunday services now. So does that make him corny? Does that make him good? Whether you like it or not, Kanye West, I think, is presenting something different, something new to the people. I mean, you see nowadays Afro beats and how far that's come. Breaking into the hip hop mainstream radio business and trying to create something different. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing, and music is expandable. You can compose it anytime you want, and I think a lot of people got to accept God being used in music because a lot of times we don't. We're not believers. Hey, look, I can't tell you what to believe in, but you can't knock the fact that it's a purpose in life, that we all got purposes, and to pursue that purpose with any type of music you do, people should accept it, man, and not refrain to just garbage music, man, because it's more to life, like Drake would say, than just to hear what's popping, what booty is shaking, what money we throwing, what bitches we got. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that half of the time, man. Let's just make our music and let's just connect and build, get together and create and exchange ideas, man. Our culture is not based upon Kanye's music now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that just because he made this album, he's the greatest thing of life, greatest walk of earth, and God has just sent him. No, you know who God really sent? I'll fucking tell you. Nipsey Hussle. A guy really ahead of his time. And I really do mean that, man. Just seeing that character, that charisma, that bravery, that ambitious feeling that he knew everything he said it was going to be accomplished in the near future. And then to get back to black people and show them different ways on how to build wealth and how to live a successful life for all people, man. That's what I want to see now. Kanye West said he's going to bring agriculture to the Wyoming area, build up farms and stuff like that. That's great. And I really want to see it done. I really do. But let's not forget what Nipsey Hussle did and what doors he had just opened and how many fans and how many just people in the world he affected, man. So if Kanye West really believes Jesus is king, and I think by him retreating to his little foreign land in Wyoming, Dakota, it really probably helped him change his mindset, gave him more peace of mind and very quiet, over there. So he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say and a lot to do. This is Stef Saucy, talked by your boy DJ Stef Saucy. Next time, I got some more content for you, all right?